How do you describe this sound? Like, you know, in trailers where they go, not the bwom, but like,
it's like the bass blast.
Yeah, it's like a bass blast over. It's like,
it's kind of
like
emulating
Breaking Bad did
speakers.
it in like one episode where like he was like rushing around the house and was like,
maybe,
hey guys,
maybe their speakers were just broken.
They did that in Star Trek.
The Discovery.
When the villain ship, when RoboCop ship shows up through the time warp, and just like.
And that's what it sounds like. Yeah. There's speakers that can't handle it.
It's actually the only sound. It's the only sound that travels through space.
That's exactly what it sounds.
Hey everybody, welcome to the G Club.
Hey, how's it going?
We're talking about Game of Thrones, not Star Trek. We could talk about Star Trek.
Not RoboCop and the Star Trek Con movie.
I could only talk about Chris Pine's Star Trek.
Yeah, that's most of it.
Yeah, the one with RoboCop.
Yeah.
Paul Verhoeven?
No, fucking Peter Weller or whatever his name is.
What?
Oh.
The guy who played RoboCop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In the first movie.
Chris
He's like, get those damn kids out of here. I don't want to listen to you, you punk. Like, he was getting work for like 2 years, and then he just disappeared again.
Then he made his debut.
He was in Dexter.
Yep.
And then he was in Star Trek. And then just nothing else.
And then his IMDb page just crashed.
Yeah, and then I remember he made a video promoting the... Do you remember like the first Kickstarter was one of the first Kickstarters? Was like the RoboCop statue in Detroit.
Yeah.
And he made a video and he was like, "Thanks for donating for the RoboCop statue. You guys are great. I'm Peter Weller."
Did he make RoboCop statues and have a Kickstarter so he?
I don't think it ever got. I think they were working on it.
They were
going to
do one, I think, right? Wasn't it in Philadelphia?
No, it was in Detroit.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like he made his own Kickstarter where people would pay him to make little mini statues and then him send them off.
There's going to be a big statue of RoboCop in Detroit, and they like made it. Is it there?
I'm pretty sure it's there.
Then my name's on it.
Cool.
Because I was one of the backers.
Someone in Detroit, go check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let us know.
Send us a
Snapchat.
No.
Send us a tweet.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Anyways, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Season 7.
Game of Thrones.
Is that what we're supposed to be talking about?
Yeah.
So it should. I mean, I'd say it should go without saying, but we're gonna say it anyway. Spoilers. If you are not caught up to date on Game of Thrones, why are you listening to this?
From season 1 to the finale of 7.
And if you're not caught up because
you
you don't watch Game of Thrones, none of this will make sense to you. So we'll see you next week.
Season
7.
Bye.
Goodbye.
But for those that are staying,
hello again.
There we are.
We're talking about Game of Thrones season 7.
Thoros of Myr dies.
Yes, that's the big news we're all reeling from, folks. Thoros of Myr, beloved fan favorite.
He brings back Benedict Dondarrion.
I love Beric
Benedict.
His voice is like just silk.
Oh my god,
in my earlobe.
Just the Lord of Light brought me back.
Oh, you forgot about Uncle Benjen.
Uncle Benjen?
Dude, if I was
it's Uncle Benjen.
Cold Hands.
If I got a flaming sword for following the Lord of Light and being a priest, I would be a priest too.
Yeah, that would make me a believer.
Yeah, holy shit.
Just slice your hand open and then it all bursts into flames.
Holy shit.
Maybe it's just because he drinks so much alcohol that his blood is flammable.
Is he slicing his hand whenever he...
Yeah, that's how they do it. Though Stannis, he had something with the flaming sword. Does anyone remember that? Because that's why Melisandre thought that he was Azor Ahai.
Well, she like brute forced it.
Yeah.
She
forced it.
Yeah, she like shoved a sword into a flaming rock and then made him pull it out and it was on fire and like she could have put fucking like motor oil on it.
Yeah.
She wanted it so badly. Yeah, Azor Ahai.
Yeah, he was also from Dragonstone, and that's why she was like, "Oh, he's the one who raises the dragons."
She's the one that sent like the Casper thing after Renly, right?
The Casper thing.
That is like the little ghost.
That is the least friendly ghost I've ever
Casper.
seen. Casper, I know one thing about Casper. He's the friendly ghost.
I just remember the first time I saw it, I was like,
a little ghost fetus baby thing.
I remember in the old Casper cartoon when a devil woman gave birth to him in a cave.
So you do remember.
Oh, Casper!
That was so weird.
But, I mean, what do we think of season 7?
It was awesome.
I liked it.
There were some goofy fucking moments, but overall it was amazing.
I thought it was definitely the goofiest season so far.
Why do you say that?
Because it had a lot of like those moments where you could tell
there are a lot of slide whistles.
Well, it seems like Well, it seems like the producers or showrunners in this season in particular were thinking like about fan reactions more.
Well, because they're off the books. They're well beyond the books at this point.
But they're like, how cool would it be if this happened?
This season feels like they have a roadmap that George R. R. Martin laid out. And because they don't have the details to fill it in, they're just kind of winging it. Mm-hmm. And it felt like this entire season was all build up to next season, which obviously in the grand scheme of things, that's what every season is building to the next part. But there weren't like many mini arcs within this season. It was all, there's the Great War and that's all that matters. And it was just that for every single episode. Yeah. So a lot of the middle episodes, we kind of could have done without for the most part. It was a lot of like Daenerys being like, I don't believe you. Okay, now I believe you. And Jon Snow being like, can I have your dragon glass? Okay, I got your dragon glass. For like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And it was still good. I still enjoyed it, but it didn't feel as dense as... Despite it being a shorter season, I thought we would have more dense shit packed into every episode.
This season definitely to me felt... I don't know, you can disagree, of course, but it felt more like along the lines of kind of Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. Like it's going across that like typical fantasy route right now.
Well, we have so few characters left. I think that's part of why it feels that way.
Mm-hmm. No, there's no shortage of characters.
There's no compared to where we were like 3 years ago.
We're like 1/3 of the way down, but yeah.
They're keeping a lot of people around. I'm surprised of how many people they've kept around for the last season.
Why is the Hound still around?
Oh, boy.
I have good feelings about why they're still keeping the Hound around. And Jorah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of characters that should have died and clearly haven't for some bigger purpose. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, that bigger purpose is here now.
Like Bender and Donder. Anderson.
Benjen?
Bender.
Benjen.
The brothers without boners.
Yeah.
The brothers without boners.
Yeah.
So sorry.
The brothers without boners.
They should have had fermented crab.
I mean, they already had their purpose. Their purpose was to get the Hound to look into the light.
Okay, Susie, why are you obsessed with the Hound?
Okay.
Just give us your piece.
Ever since he was first introduced as a character, you know.
Season 1?
Yes, that he has been my number one favorite character.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since they first showed him, I was like, that guy is my favorite character.
The guy with the melty face.
Yes. He's my favorite. The fuck the king guy.
Yes, I knew him as the guy from Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
That's what I knew him as.
So I don't really believe it, but I'm like hoping that he is Azor Ahai, the prince that was promised in the book.
Or princess. They made a big thing out of that this season.
Yeah, but I feel like possibly him.
They only touched on Azor Ahai once, didn't they?
When Melisandre was at Dragonstone, and Daenerys was like, it's the prince, and then Missandre was like, or princess.
Oh.
So you could define it as the one who was promised.
All right. Well, okay. Hear me out.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of
that's true.
There's a lot of theories going around online right now that the Hound might actually be Azor Ahai, who is supposed to be the one who's supposed to end the Long Night, because he is the only one in the show who's in the main running who has had a death and rebirth type situation. He died with Brienne. Hold on. Let me just talk about the Hound real quick, okay? He had
said the only one.
Well, okay. The one that had a death and rebirth
and he
situation.
Die.
That also follows the Lord of Light situation. He just recently got in. I'm doing air quotes, you can't see. Just recently got into following the Lord of Light. Mm-hmm. And so he's the only one that has had that happen and follows that, because we know that if you follow the Lord of Light, you get the flaming sword. And the prophecy is that Azor Ahai came back from the dead under a burning, a red bleeding star, which when they showed the Hound reborn, it was during the time when the sect was being taken down and everyone had the red stars carved into their foreheads. And they were taken down.
Of a stretch.
This is Game of Thrones we're talking about. Everything can be stretched.
True.
So he was reborn under a red burning star. He might be the one to wield the burning sword.
Red bleeding star.
Yeah, that's what it is. That
makes more sense.
He might also be the one to wield the flaming sword, because as we know, the Lord of Light, the burning swords, the bannermen have, he might get that as well, because he's just now getting into that and looking into the flames and seeing things now clearer than anyone has seen before, by the way, because Melisandre looked into the flames and saw shit and was wrong. He looked into the flames and saw something that came true.
He saw a crystal clear image
He did.
Which was interesting.
Which leads me to believe that...
Is that a part of the writing, or is that a part of, like, is that a part of them just trying to get the behind the wall episode to happen?
Ryan, it's so important because I have a feeling that the Mountain did not push the Hound into the flames to burn his face over a toy. Mm-hmm. I think that the Hound has always had the gift of foresight. I think the Hound looked into the flames and saw himself killing his brother, told his brother the prophecy, which is why he went up to the Mountain in the most recent episode and was like, you know who's coming for you. You've always known who's coming for you. Because we've never seen that interaction before. We knew he wanted to kill him, but we never knew that he knew who's coming for him. So I think that he told...
Or it was just fan service for Clegane, which is fucking
Barry,
confirmed.
let me share my theory. Okay?
Confirmed times 2.
Sorry.
So I believe that he looked in the flames, told his brother that theory, and then his brother pushed him into the flames for that. And I think that's why he actually got burned, not over the toy.
What if he didn't get pushed in? He saw a vision of flames they thought was real, so he dove into the fire and then got burned. And then his brother pulled him out and saved him, but that's not how he remembers it. And Bran's gonna go back in time and be like, the Hound! Oh my God!
Yeah.
Zora Hyde!
But I believe that the Hound is one of the most pure of heart characters in the show because he's always been the one to help the Sansa sisters. He's the one who always says there's no such thing as true knights, yet he is a true knight.
I did really like his scene with him and Brienne walking to the dragon pit.
Oh my God, the two divorced parents like arguing over who gets like parental support of Arya.
Yeah.
But I'm rooting for the Hound, man. There's a reason why they brought him back, and there's a reason why they've been showing him a lot this most recent season. He's got a big role to play next season.
Clegane Bowl.
Well, get hype, because Clegane Bowl is actually happening. It's confirmed.
Fucking confirmed.
#, confirmed, may what is hype never die.
It's going to happen
Hype
in a
is
football
coming.
stadium.
I mean, they practically played air horns when that happened in the show. Like, come on. If you don't know what Clegane Bowl is, like, you need to go on the internet.
You know what Clegane Bowl is.
You know what it is.
Clegane Bowl.
Oh my
like-
God, it's happening.
I
Well,
will
it's confirmed, first of all.
Yeah.
May what is hype
That's
never
step
die.
one.
I will say that prediction, I would like somebody else other than Jon or Daenerys to be
Hold
like
on.
the chosen one.
There was
'Cause, like,
more.
everything seems so straightforward right now that I'm hoping there's something that kind of.
And this has
Well,
never been
I hope there's
a
one
story.
last kind of curve.
Okay, look, there's
know?
more. There's more. Because if you go back into actual historic reasoning behind Azor Ahai was actually a folktale from Scottish folklore. And Azor Ahai's house sigil and representation was of a dog.
Oh.
Yeah, that is true.
And the way
It's
that
actually
he...
Azor Ahai?
Yes.
Whoa.
And fucking the Hound is played by a Scottish actor, just saying. But the way that he gets his flaming sword in the original story was that he stabs his... Okay, so the first time he tries to start his sword of flame, he killed something small. The second time, he put his blood on there or something. And then the third time, to get his sword to catch a flame, he stabbed his wife into the heart. And when he pulled the heart out of her, it was a
water
flame.
the first time, and then it's slaying a lion the second time.
Yes, that was what it was.
And then the third time is slaying his love.
Yeah.
Why did he slay his
heart.
love?
That's just the story.
It's just the story of Azor Ahai. So there's a prophecy of someone killing someone they love, and then their sword becoming a flame because of that, which could be, of course, Jon killing Daenerys, or Daenerys killing Jon, or it could be
Davos
the
killing
Hound
Gendry.
killing Arya,
Oh.
or the Hound killing the Mountain.
Tormund killing
What if
Bran.
the Hound stabs the Mountain and pulls out his sword and it's on fire?
I mean, that would be insane.
Anyways, yeah, sorry. You guys can go on about your Azor Ahai.
The thing I really
You're
like
dumb
about
as
the,
alright.
Yeah, you're incorrect. Conspiracies,
Non-hound
please.
related.
I mean, I've been wrong about a lot of stuff with Game of Thrones. I thought Littlefinger was going to make it to the end of the show.
I did too. I was
yeah,
shocked.
too.
I felt like he was dying this season.
Oh
felt
my
like
God.
There was nothing else he was really.
Everyone was pointing out that he had no plot going on right now, and that was true, but he's like part of the reason why the entire story happened.
is the
Even though
reason
he's
the
part of
entire
Chaos
story
is a
happened.
ladder, all that shit. Like, he's been vying for the throne the entire time. I thought he would have some big power play near the end and then get taken out.
Well, he's living on in those Stark girls because he taught them his lessons.
Physically, like, Arya might steal his face.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what they're gonna have to do, I think, to command the Vale.
Yeah, but everyone hates him now.
But it's like there was no way he was going to ever marry Sansa unless they did this
No.
big red wedding event where like a bunch of people were killed and he took control of Winterfell. Like, and they don't have enough time for that. So I really felt like his story was coming to a close, and when it was going on, this whole thing.
That scene was so fucking good.
It was a good
was
scene,
amazing.
but how they got to that scene, I thought was not good. I thought they really kind of screwed up the whole Arya Sansa kind of dynamic.
Yeah.
Just because
Why do you say that?
Because it seems like a lot of the scenes they were playing it for the audience.
A lot of people saw it coming.
Yeah, well,
which was not Game of Thrones.
I'm not smart.
It's kind of like when Sansa and Arya are doing that thing and Arya's kind of taunting Sansa.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like that was played more for the audience to make the audience go, oh, they're actually going to fight each other. And then the whole big reveal, it felt like it was very theatric and they were trying really hard to make us think one way when it's like, this doesn't really make too much of sense.
Yeah, because I guess the explanation is that they were doing that for Littlefinger so he would be overhearing them arguing and think, oh, my plan is working.
Yeah.
But that seems unnecessary when Sansa's having conversations with Littlefinger saying, oh, Arya is a threat.
Or you could say...
That's way more valid than them... I mean, arguing is just extra evidence, but it feels unnecessary, and it feels, especially in hindsight, it wasted a lot of time. During the actual, like, airing of those episodes, I remember a lot of people just being like, why are they being so stupid?
I just felt very taken aback, because I was like, this
doesn't seem like either of them.
This seems odd.
Yeah, and it was odd, and they were in on it, but still felt weird.
That whole, like, Lord Baelish, from that moment on, I was like, yay, he's getting his just desserts. Mm-hmm. That's good. But how they got there, I thought could have been a little more smooth. I felt like just because of the whole 7-episode thing, I felt like a lot of things were rushed this season. And I don't know if anyone else agrees, but maybe 10 episodes would have helped that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree.
With which part? With 10 episodes?
Because people have been making a big deal about all the teleportation happening this season. I have no issue with it. The only issue I have is when they kind of mess with the passing of time. The big thing is when Daenerys came to save them up north.
That episode is probably going to be known to fans as like the biggest kind of weird time jump.
Yeah, because they're hiking through the wilderness for what seems like a very long time, and then Gendry runs there in like 10 minutes, gets back to the wall.
He's
and then they send a raven to Daenerys, and then Daenerys flies up, and it's like people have made maps of like how far all that is, and they were stuck on that little outcrop in the middle of that frozen lake for like at least 3 days. And I think they could have made that a little bit clearer without killing the pacing.
Where'd you get 3 days from? I got maybe 2 days.
I feel like the showrunner
This
said
is
it was
just based
like,
off of maps that people drew up of like showing like, here's Dragonstone. Like, we're assuming a dragon can fly pretty fucking fast.
It would have to have taken that long, but in the reality of the show, they were probably there for like a day.
Yeah.
Well, like they show the sunset and the sunrise, so I think it was maybe a day to 2 days.
Like a day and a half, 2 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is still pushing it.
Yeah, it's still... I understand for pacing reasons they want it to feel like, oh, you don't know if she's going to make it. Obviously, showing her like for 3 days riding her dragon is not very compelling television, and they don't need to show that. But I just think that earlier in the show, they had a lot of time spent traveling through Westeros and Essos to really get you familiar with the characters, to give you a lot of detail. Because even in this season, we're getting people walking around talking to each other, giving us fan service and backstory and stuff. And like, that's what travel is good for. And we don't really need as much of that anymore as the story kind of condenses. Mm-hmm. So cutting out the traveling doesn't fucking matter to me. Yeah. Like, whenever you see them traveling, it's significant now. It's not just like, oh, we're like bumbling along, like, having an adventure.
I don't mind the traveling, like cutting the traveling. It's just like when they shorten distances for convenience to where it's like, it's goofy. It pulls you out of it. It at least pulled me out of it when it was like when Gendry's running back. In my head, I'm like,
yeah,
because I don't know.
You're the fastest. And it's like, I don't know if speed's the main issue here. I think having food and water.
He would like if you're running that far, if you're running several miles, your lungs are going to fail, and you're going to drown in your own blood.
I mean, it's a fantasy.
I know that, but it's still
imagine like where someone's like, he ran for 7 days and 7 nights, and it's like, oh, cool, but it's like now Game of Thrones has to like. There's fucking dragons and shit in it.
Yes, there's just dragons, but there's such a thing as what is it, plausible impossibility? Like we accept that there's dragons in the show because they've made them make sense in this world.
Well, they also I don't think they really made a big deal out of the fact that like Gendry was running back, It's like if they were trying to make it like a thing and it was tense, then like, okay, I get it, but they didn't. They were just like, he's obviously gonna make it. Just like go and tell them. Like that. That was the purpose of that.
But I saw some people saying online, like, why didn't they just bring a raven with them?
I don't fucking. It doesn't
it's
matter.
just like-
Yeah, that would have made more sense.
It does. It kind of matters because it takes you out of the episode. And you're like, okay, like Uncle Benjen is coming to save the day. Instead of just pulling John up onto his horse, he jumps off and dies for no reason.
Could that
It's
horse
just-
have carried the weight of 2 people and gotten away?
I don't know, but I think in that exact same moment they could have given Benjen a more heroic sacrifice.
Well, that's been his thing throughout the whole series, is like showing
Just
up.
pops
Who's
up for
that?
3
It's
seconds.
Uncle Benjen.
Right, and then he dies.
Yep, he
runs
goes
away.
off. So that's like
Look at my nose.
he died the way he's remembered.
He died
so.
the way he lived, forgettably. But like he could have pulled up to grab John. It's this big thing where he's being a badass with this little lantern chain thing. And then he grabs John, throws him up on the horse, and they start to ride. But like because he loaded him onto the horse, now they caught up to him and they're like grabbing at him. So then he jumps off the horse and he's like, "Go!" and it smacks the butt. And then John's like, "Uncle Benjen."
Or he accidentally falls off the horse.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like, there's so
Kidding,
many
no.
ways that in the same span of time they could have made his death make sense. Instead
just-
of him just being like, "There's no time, just go." And
It's kind of like little things like that. Like Daenerys could have just been like, they might need my help, and she could have ventured on her own instead of having a raven sent and having the whole Gendry be like.
that would have felt a little too Deus Ex
Why do you think-
Machina.
But people would complain either way. So I feel
True.
like that would be the lesser of 2 evils, of her being more concerned than, because people they're mainly complaining about the realism. And they seem to like throw away characters just kind of like, oh, if she had this feeling, then whatever. But it's harder to kind of tell them. Gendry ran this far, then sent a raven, then the raven traveled that far, and then she got it, thought about it, didn't think about it for that long, then came all the way back. People are really held up on that, and I agree. Like these are story beats that they had to hit, but I'm wondering if they kind of rushed through some of those beats in this season to get to where they needed to be. Some of it just felt rushed to me. I don't know if anyone else felt like a bit of.
It was definitely.
I only feel like if it's rushed if it's because yes, I feel like Game of Thrones is very subversive, and the fact that like they were saved at the last moment is kind of like that's not very Game of Thronesy.
Yeah.
and no one of importance died
Yeah.
besides some red shirts and Thoros of Myr.
Which you and I have a debate. So.
Yeah.
We have plot armor.
So that's the
Yeah.
only
But that's never been a thing in this show.
Well, okay. Why do you think Gendry is still alive?
Because he's
Because he has a hammer and people love him and the Roe meme.
Yeah,
I was
cool.
Yeah,
so
but he's got
fucking
to have like a
excited.
story reason why he's still around, right?
I hope so.
I have a theory. I think
You'd
they're
hope
just-
that there's a story reason, but I'm
I
not
think
so
they're just
sure.
drawing parallels between Ned and Robert. I don't know if there's a deeper thing that he actually has a claim to the throne. I think they're past that.
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
Is he the chosen one's chosen
Is
one?
he a
As much as I want Azor Ahai to be the Hound, it's like a goofy theory. I don't think it's real. I think
could
that
be real.
I think that they have told us the end of the show at the very beginning. I think the intro of the show actually tells you the end of the show. When they're showing those rings that are spinning around, and you remember those
Like the
images that
opening
are on the
credits.
rings? Yes.
Oh.
I think that that is actually the end, because the whole thing of the show, the whole message of the show is there's a wheel and they're trying to break the wheel. But I think that that is going to keep going on. And on that wheel, it shows, and this is the same wheel that was hanging above the library where Sam was working with all the maesters. It's something that's been happening for centuries and centuries and will continue to happen. I think what it shows on it is it shows them all fighting against the Mad King, which is the dragon. It shows the dragon ruling, then it shows them all fighting the dragon, and then the last part of it is the deer reigning over everyone. Again, the Baratheons ruling over the kingdom. So I think what's going to happen is that loosely, and I haven't really like seen anyone talking about this, but I haven't looked too closely. I think that there's going to, of course, be a huge battle with the Night King. I think that Jon's going to die. It's going to be Daenerys left with minimal armies, and her and Cersei are going to fight it out. She's going to go down, and the only one who's left going to be able to rule is going to be Gendry. And I think that the show is going to end with Gendry being on the Iron Throne, and it's going to be back again to the fucking Baratheons, the deer ruling over the kingdom. The North is still going to be run by the Starks, you know.
I'm down for anything that I can't already just be like that. That seems like the ending that would be at the end. Like if Jon is the number one or if Daenerys is the number one. I'm kind of hoping for something that doesn't go that route.
I don't want
because,
Jon or Daenerys.
I want it to be
get
Game of Thrones, as you said. Like Game of Thrones grabbed my interest because I wasn't really into medieval type of stuff. I didn't get into Lord of the Rings at first. I need to rewatch them at a new bright age as I am. But I was never really into it, and then I got into Game of Thrones because it was unpredictable.
Yeah.
It brought me in these moments, but it seems like lately those moments are less and less, and you can say that's because, you know, you're expecting those moments, so why would they have them in there if you're just expecting them? Where it's like some moments you just need to like twist the story, so like we can't just predict, oh, Daenerys is going to end up being queen at
The show lost its mean streak.
Yeah.
But you can't have a twist for the sake of having a twist.
No, well, like...
But I agree with you that I think George R. R. Martin spent his entire life reading fantasy stories and getting sick of them. And then he wrote one that subverted all of these tropes because he knows them so well. So he knows what audiences are expecting, and he knows how to sort of plan accordingly. And again, I think that's why some of these moments are a little bit lacking in these more recent seasons. Because the books haven't come out.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's why I don't know. This last episode, I've watched the scene over and over again.
The boat sex?
No. That too. But
sex incest.
But this is about the Cersei Jaime scene. I'm huge on.
We have to talk about the Cersei
How
Tyrion scene. 'Cause
how
those are basically
symbolic.
the same
Yeah.
scene.
Okay. But
Yeah.
How symbolic when Jaime puts on the black glove and covers up his golden hand.
there's that like taking
pretty
like
symbolic.
going north and.
Do you think Jaime's going to take the black and defend
well,
the
the
wall?
black's done, aren't they?
Well,
Like,
yeah,
most of
they're
the walls
they're
just
way
fell.
done.
How does Jaime put on a glove if the hand is like one unit?
It's like a mitten.
Oh,
like a little fluffy mitten with the little like balls on the end of it with the
Yeah.
strings.
And he puts on a poofy hat.
I was totally killed Jaime this episode.
Well, so during that
I was
Tyrion
totally,
Jaime's sticking around.
I was totally just
did
kind
you
of
guys
like.
think that Tyrion was going to walk out of that room alive?
No,
Yes.
I thought
You
that he
did.
was going to
Yeah.
get.
I thought he was dead for
I
sure.
thought he was.
if
Gonna
he
get
was
killed.
dead, then a big all-out war would have happened in King's Landing.
Well, I thought he would
Daenerys
die,
wouldn't have let
and
that
then
slide.
Cersei would somehow regret it, and then be like, "Okay, maybe we do need to fight together."
Then she
'cause-
works him as a puppet. And it's like, hey, I'm still alive, Daenerys. Don't attack the city.
right.
Like I mean,
Just like, hey, Tyrion, why don't you come down from the castle? No,
no, it's fine. Much to do. Oh, I love my sister. That's the truth. Bye.
Oh my god,
Can I have one of your dragons, please?
that's so out of her
to borrow
character.
it.
And what were they doing at the beginning of the episode when Bronn was just like, "How many barrels of oil do we have? 500. We need 500 more." I thought that she was going to do some great attack on them when they were there.
They were prepared for an attack on their
Yeah.
part because they didn't trust them. So they're like, if
She
if
fucking
a fight's
blew-
going to happen,
She blew up the
then we need 500
sept.
more.
She's a
did.
crazy
So that-
mad queen. Like, why did I think
But there was
Cersei's
no
character
arm-
would have done an attack?
But there was no religious fanatic army the size of Daenerys' army and influence that could have fought back. Because when she blew up the sept, her enemies were wiped out. She can't just do one little attack there because their army pretty much surrounded the dragon pit. So I feel like anything Cersei did would have been a horrible move and would have really she would have lost right then and there.
What wasn't
if
there?
if a fight happened.
There was this whole thing earlier in the season where the Unsullied take Casterly Rock, and that was a diversion where the Lannisters actually took Highgarden, and then the Greyjoy's fleet arrived, trapping the Unsullied so they couldn't escape. And I thought it was this whole big deal where now they have to walk all the way across Westeros to
And they
get back
did.
over to Dragonstone. But they did like off camera, and it was no big deal, and nothing happened.
Well, I mean,
it's like I thought they were gonna be like attacked more and more.
Well, I mean, the diversion that is based on was also off camera. The whole Robb thing when they got Jaime, where Jaime learned his lesson.
Like
Remember?
4 seasons ago?
Yeah. So like, I mean, stuff happens off camera.
It does, but I just remember they were like looking at the map and they're like, oh, like the Unsullied, and like they gotta go all the way across the map, and like, oh no.
That's just another one of those Raven.
Yeah, it's
scenarios in the
it's like a
season.
thing that's brought up and then never like the next time you see the Unsullied, they're at King's Landing and they're ready to rock,
Yeah.
and it's no big deal that everything went down at Casterly Rock.
well, I mean, all the stuff that needed to happen as a result of that did. I feel like it was sort of resolved at that point.
But then why even make the Unsullied trapped at Casterly Rock? Like just like leave them there and have them like realize, hey, that was too easy.
Well, the purpose of that I think was more on losing Tyrell.
Yeah, and
than
also
trapping them.
to make Daenerys question Tyrion's like motives and ability to be a hand.
Because do you think
I
Tyrion made a little
understand.
deal with Cersei,
I think he made it.
No, I don't.
or do you think she played him like a fool?
I think
like she
they
played
conf-
Jaime.
I
Oh,
think in the
pregnant.
post-episode thing, the post-episode mini-doc, they revealed that it was all above board.
Do you guys think Cersei's pregnant?
No,
I do.
No.
Okay, because I don't know if it was last season or the season before that, but they made a big deal of the Meister, her Meister, the like fucking guy who brought
Qyburn?
yeah, doing a doctor's appointment, physical type thing on her, and then telling her that she was going through the change. And a lot of you guys out there might not understand what the change means, but that basically is like when a woman's body chemistry changes, and she can no longer have children.
Menopause.
It's menopause. When they call that the change.
I've never heard it called the change.
Oh, I've heard it called the change. The
change.
My entire life.
It sounds intense.
Yeah.
Not knowing what the change meant, I took that scene to mean, oh, she's pregnant. She's having signs
It
of...
means that she can never have kids again, and she's at that age now too. Like she's too old, right?
Maybe
so
Qyburn's got some fermented crab. You never know.
I feel like they put that in for a reason to show that she wasn't pregnant. And there's a lot of
If that
people.
is what that means, then yeah.
There's a lot of people online who are saying, but no, like earlier this year, I guess someone had leaked a list of all of the plot devices that were happening this season. And one of the plot devices they had on the end of the season was Cersei dies after having a miscarriage in a puddle of her own blood. But they also came out and said that they threw a couple things in there to misdirect people in case it did get leaked. And I think that's one of those things because they've already declared in the show that Cersei cannot have kids anymore.
Well, indirectly, maybe.
They said that she's going through the change.
Maybe it means she's turning into a zombie.
Well, whether she's faking it or not, that child's not being born.
Of course,
Right.
yeah.
So
A little
the
bit.
whole like
There's
witch
no way
prophecy.
she's having
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
three
the
child-
but the witch
three
prophecy
children.
was already proved wrong anyways because she had a fourth kid that they never mentioned. But they did mention in the show what was her true born son between her and Robert Baratheon that was not included in the prophecy.
Well, no, because they said Baratheon will have 20 children, you will have 3.
Did Maggie the Toad say that?
Yeah.
Because
So Robert Baratheon has tons and tons of kids, but she only had 3 children with Jaime. I don't think she had kids with Robert. Did
she had one kid with Robert at the beginning of the show. Remember, she told what's her name, Lady Stark, Catelyn, that she had a baby and it died. And Catelyn was like, "I'm so sorry you went through that. I had no idea." That was in the very first season.
That could be listed as one of the Baratheon kids. Because the prophecy said that she'll have 3 kids. Golden will be their crowns, gold will be their shrouds. So they had blonde hair.
Yeah.
None of the Baratheon kids were going to have blonde.
Yeah, she said that she actually said when she was telling Caitlyn that the child had black hair like Robert.
Yeah, so that's not part of the prophecy.
Yeah.
So I guess as long as she has kids that aren't blonde, she's set to go.
But if she had it with Jamie. Well, there's also theories online that I don't agree with, but people are saying that she is pregnant and she's going to have a dwarf baby and it's going to be
That
karma
would be-
catching up with her.
That would be hokey. That would be too hokey.
Yeah, I feel like
that'd
that's.
be a bit
I
much.
think it's insane because she's not pregnant. I mean, and they, like Aaron said, they like proved it in the like making of the episode at the end of the last episode where he's like, Jamie's fooled them all. Cersei's fooled them all.
Yeah.
So they pretty
Yeah.
much just come out and said she's not pregnant.
It's like part of me doesn't want to watch those because they do say shit like that.
Yeah.
But that whole Nymeria scene where like we were like discussing it for like 30 minutes afterwards and then everyone left and then we watched the after credit scene and it was like, this scene represents this and this is exactly what Arya was going through Arya's mind and that's the end of it. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
But
okay.
for every one thing that they actually mention in those end episode things, there's 20 minutes of, we had a lot of fun writing this episode and this actor killed it. And you're like, okay.
We knew fans really wanted to see this happen.
Yeah.
What was that thing you were
Oh,
saying?
like
Is the-
before the episode, he's like, okay, so how we did this scene is we put real fire, and then in the background there's CG fire, and then when you mix it together, it looks like fire. It blows my mind.
That is like every episode with the dragons.
Yeah. Are there any other Dire Wolves left besides Lady? Or Ghost is still around,
Yeah,
but they
Ghost is
just
still
didn't
around,
have
but
the
they don't
CG
have the
budget.
budget.
Yeah.
Spending everywhere else. Well, one thing they mentioned that cracked me up after the episode where they went up north was that they've been trying to get an undead polar bear in every season, and they kept getting shot down. And they're like, "No, we want the undead polar bear," and they worked it into that
I
episode.
want to see the
That was
giant
crazy.
ice spiders.
Whoa.
They mentioned that in the show.
Did they?
They did. They mentioned giant ice spiders like early on, and also
Oh, was
I
that when
think-
he was like Snox and
Wait, no,
drunk and,
they showed
something
those.
like
They showed
that.
those though.
there ice
Didn't they come after Bran when he was in the tree with the three-eyed raven and he was learning? I think they were
Are
there.
those
for
just the
that.
undead? I thought.
Am I crazy?
When the Night King came to the three-eyed raven?
No, when he was in the room learning with the three-eyed raven,
The Chamber of Secrets?
I seem to remember there being some ice spiders, and then that led to them leaving in the whole Hodor scene. Am I crazy?
No, that was because he was warging, and then the Night King looked at him.
I know.
And he grabbed his hand, and then he put the mark on him, which destroyed the magic barrier, and then they raided the Fey Raven.
But like,
I don't
were
remember any
there ice spiders there?
I mean, maybe. There was a lot going on.
I think there were
ice
whites
spiders.
like crawling on the ceiling.
Yeah.
I think
That
might be
happened.
why
That
we were
might be
thinking
why-
of
okay.
spiders.
Where like they filmed them crawling on this, like crawling on the ground, and then they flipped them over. And they were, like the old Spider-Man technique.
So what we
Oh,
did
wow.
is we filmed them on the ground,
and then we mixed that in with people that could actually climb upside down.
and it looks like the real thing.
It looks like real fire.
They don't have accents. I don't know.
Everything just ends up being, and it looks like fire.
Yeah.
But okay, so as a penultimate season, because I feel like season 6 should have been, you know, when the whole how regular story arcs go, where it's like the big shit needs to happen for the final fight at the end type of thing. As a penultimate kind of season, does it work at setting everything up?
I mean, I think the entire point of this season was moving all the pieces on that board to their final positions for the Great War.
Yeah.
And I think it did that very well. I just think that for how few episodes we got, the pacing felt kind of all over the place, which was strange. But I hate being so down on it because I really, really enjoyed this season. Every single episode had moments in it where I was like, oh shit.
Just saying, team should have killed Jamie.
No.
Should have killed Jamie. That would have been like
Cersei has
as an arc, and for her arc and his arc. I thought that
for
would have been a
Jamie's
big
arc, he
defining
has to
moment
be
for
the
both of them.
Kingslayer and the Queenslayer.
He doesn't
That's
have
Jamie's
to.
arc.
Whatever.
Jamie is going to be the one to kill Cersei.
She's gonna do some crazy killing babies shit, and he's
I
gonna be
can't
like,
believe
I can't.
that she did that to him when she told the mountain to kill him. I was heartbroken for Jamie because
That's his arc. He's gonna be like, fuck Jamie. He's gonna kill her.
Hashtag
I mean,
should have killed
okay,
Jamie.
so being a twin myself, like I can't even imagine life without my twin.
Exiling your twin out of the kingdom.
Yeah,
It's pretty dramatic.
and doing anything like that. Like I can't even imagine that. So she is obviously not in her right mind. She is taking on the Mad Queen.
Tommen was all she had left, tying her to reality.
Yeah.
And now she's off the rails.
Which then, if she's that off the rails, then is it possible that, you know, I may think that she's faking it, and I may be proven wrong, of course, but then maybe is that signs to point that maybe she does have a child, since she's always irrational when it comes to her children. Is that irrationality based on her actual pregnancy?
Nah, man, she's been playing the long
Or is she just
haul.
like, me?
She's all
No
about
longer you and me.
She was there to protect her kids and kill people, and she's all out of kids. So she's like going full on warpath right now. She knows that she has no life. Like, I mean, she even said it as much on the show. Where she was just basically saying to Jamie, "Hey, let's take our money and go live large in Essos or somewhere else. Like, we don't have to be a part of this." And Jamie, of course, was ready to turn coat and go fight for a good cause, and he thought that she was there to back him up, and he was heartbroken, first of all, by that she betrayed him,
and then she insulted him.
and then tried to kill him.
or at least have
That's pretty harsh.
She's not a good person.
At least have the mountain begin to strike, and then like
I'm
blocks
curious.
or
'Cause
just
it
something.
seemed like she nodded to be like, okay, kill him.
no, that
And
was
then-
the bluffing. Just unsheath it a little.
Okay,
nod.
so there's a double nod.
There's a bunch of stuff like
right.
if she had her own little clicking language for the mountain.
And then the mountain like,
He's disgusting, dude. Whenever this is the first time I think we got like a close up look of his like eyes, and like holy
it gets worse
shit,
every
dude.
time they show a clip.
Yeah, it really
God,
does.
He's rotting.
Yeah.
Because I seem to remember it was just looked like a normal dude with red eyes and like a purple face.
Yeah, it was like
And
a
now it's
white-
like now it's like rotting away. Like it's kind of gross.
God, and his face is covered completely.
Yeah.
So you can't see anything but his eyes now. It makes me wonder like what it looks like underneath.
Yeah.
I loved when they had the scene at the
The
dragon
hound's gonna
pit.
cut it off. You're gonna see.
They had the scene at the dragon pit, and they kill the white that bursts out of the thing.
That was a goofy scene
Qyburn
too.
is the first person to be like, I need to check this shit
Yeah,
out.
he picks up the hand. He's like, I am behind on my re-dead
he's like,
technology.
I really like that moment. Only for Lena Headey's acting as Cersei being scared. I like seeing
yeah.
Cersei like
Yeah.
break her Cersei-ness.
I thought she would be more terrified of that.
She was.
Well, no, but like,
She, like,
right after it
jumped and
happened, she was just
she-
like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll follow you
yeah, 'cause
guys. with this.
she's an expert politician. She knows to keep her
Yeah,
emotions
she
close to
she
her
was
chest.
clearly
Did you
like
see?
upset.
Yeah.
Did you see when
Very, very subtle.
Daenerys was telling them? Jamie asked how many men were in the army of the dead,
Mm-hmm.
and Daenerys goes 100,000, and Cersei stone faced. She's never been in war. She doesn't know what 100,000 men looks like. She doesn't even know what 20,000 men looks like.
Sure.
Jamie behind her looks terrified when she says 100,000 men.
When he hears the dragon roar above, he like has that moment where like he like looks up, then jumps up. He's the first one to like get up and kind of look around.
Jamie
like,
is the one who's actually been in battle, and Cersei needs him. And now that she doesn't have him, she is completely lost.
Yep.
So what is he doing now? Is he just gonna go?
He's
join
gonna
them?
go.
north.
He's gonna join Daenerys.
He's joining the Magnificent Seven.
I haven't
just
read the
seems
books,
like-
but I've heard that in the books that he does join Daenerys.
See, that's where it like kind of feels weird.
Yeah.
I feel like
he would join Jon. sooner than
He's
he would
gonna
join
find
Daenerys.
Brienne
Yeah, I think
because he's always had a connection with Brienne.
That's true.
he doesn't have an
What
army
happened to Bronn
kinda
and
go with him.
Podrick? They went off for those trips and they never
Right?
showed up again.
Is that going to be the new
Right?
Gendry rowing meme?
Yeah.
Like they're just always in a bar now. while
Bronn
everything's
knows
going
shit.
on?
the Three-Eyed Raven? You mean?
Braun.
Oh, Bronn, not
Bronn.
Sorry.
Bran?
Does Bronn know shit?
He was the one who was helping them set up all those oil barrels.
He was preparing for battle just in case something
Yeah.
went down.
He was preparing for something.
Well,
There-
yeah, because
there definitely was a
they had
plan.
an army sitting outside.
There-
I think the
that's
entire
fishy
point,
that they didn't address it at all. Like I'm
don't
thinking
think-
something's gonna happen.
I don't think there was more of that scene. I think that it was just showing the Unsullied were setting up for a siege against King's Landing, and they were just protecting themselves against the siege. And then the Dothraki show up, and they're like, "Oh, we're fucked."
Yeah.
Also,
I think that was the entire point of that scene.
I was a little confused when they were saying like Brienne and Pod were like part of Cersei's team, because Tyrion came and was like, "I'm sorry that we had to meet on the wrong side" or whatever, like implying that Pod was on Cersei's side.
Oh yeah.
But like he was there with Brienne, right?
Was Pod wearing
No, they're
Lan-
all on different sides because Sansa was the one who sent Brienne there to
Right.
represent Sansa.
But
Right.
Pod's with Brienne,
Yeah.
who is with the North.
And Jon Snow is with the North.
Pod was wearing Lannister colors, wasn't he?
He's
was
always
wear-
had kind of reddish.
Yeah, he's always had that one.
I thought he changed to like more blackish stuff, like when they were training and stuff in Winterfell. Is he
remember-
always wearing that?
Well, there was
His
that
clothes
whole-
make him look so dumpy, by the way. Like
Pod.
I
whoever
think
his
that's sort of his character.
he looks so dumpy. Every time they show him, like, oh my god, if they'd fit that better, he'd look so much better.
I mean, I guess technically he's still being ordered by the Lannisters, but he was like ordered to be with Brienne by Jaime.
That's right. Jamie was paying. He got Brienne that whole new armor set and
gave-
everything,
when he gave her
and
the
like
sword.
yeah,
And he gave Gendry the order
Oathkeeper.
to go with Brienne.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that I can think of.
Is it just because Sansa's like, I don't bend the knee to Daenerys, and that's why they're not on the same side? I don't know.
Well, we'll see next episode because they're heading to Winterfell.
That's true.
Who's going to Winterfell? Oh yeah, Brienne. And all
Like
them.
a lot of people are. How far is Winterfell from the Wall?
The nephew and aunt are heading to Winterfell.
It's not far.
Yeah, I think they're pretty close.
Remember when Tyrion and Jon went together? I think it was only a couple days.
So is the next episode going to be Tormund and Beric just like walking across the entire wall over to Castle
It's
Black?
so goofy if they live. Like I want them to live, but like
I want them to live too,
goddamn,
but that
like
would be
if you
so
watch
dumb
that
if they
scene,
killed him off like that.
I know, but like they just happened to jump at the right time and they lived. Like
You know that's
it's
what they're
just,
doing.
Of course, that's
You
what
know
they're
exactly
doing.
they're going to be alive.
I know they're gonna
He's
do
gonna
that,
go
but
around
it's
and
goofy as
make
hell.
More Brienne
I thought that they
jokes.
died because it showed them just next to where it was all crumbling, and then it cut to a wide shot where like a huge part of the wall was falling. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but if you
that
if,
doesn't look like a tiny bit fell. That's like the entire thing.
No, they jumped to
Barry,
the other side, and I hate it.
if you zoom in and enhance the footage,
Yes.
you see little tiny figures of Tormund running. You can tell by the red
I
hair.
love
Little
Tormund.
ginger
I don't
beard.
care. I feel like Bendak Stargaryen feels he just gets a pass because he's just like, the Lord of Light didn't bring me back to die here, and it's like you're right.
Yeah, you're right. That's the plot armor.
Hey, when
I mean-
you're right, you're right.
Do we want to talk about boat sex? Because like that seems what all the internet wants to talk about.
But we already
Yeah.
knew they were related, like from episodes ago.
Yeah. Well, they confirmed
yeah, but they
it
confirmed
this
it.
season.
Yeah, I
It
mean
was
everyone
only-
knew
Gilly
it,
confirmed
but
it.
Yeah, she did.
Gilly confirmed it.
Yeah.
Gilly confirmed it.
Yeah. What was the point
She
of
was
all of
reading
that?
the book and going,
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
old. Even if it wasn't an old, they'd still be related.
Dude, and then Sam took the credit for it. Fuck
Yeah.
you, Sam.
And then Bran was like, I see everything except for that, apparently.
yeah. Well, he's got to know where to look, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
But
It's like he has the internet and he just has Google in his mind.
I think it's gonna drive them
I didn't
apart.
think to Google that.
You think it's gonna drive?
I think she's
I
gonna.
think it would draw Jon more apart than Daenerys, because Daenerys is like the Targaryens.
She would be drawn more to
Yeah,
him.
the Targaryens are known for wanting to keep their bloodline, even though she's not going the usual Targaryen way, which is like her storyline. Like, I'm not like my father. I'm not like my stupid
Oh, so
brother.
that might be why she dislikes that they're related.
Maybe.
She's like, I'm trying to start a non-inbred Targaryen clan.
Because isn't it like they're usually like born with like deformities and wings and shit?
Wings?
Like, in the books.
Yeah. Apparently, the baby that she gave birth to with the Dothraki guy, what's his name? Drogo, was half dragon, half human.
There was a witch involved, to be fair.
Yes.
Let's be fair.
Let's be fair.
There was a witch
There was
casting
blood
some
magic.
spells.
Now, they also did say that the dragons are actually asexual. So even though she only has 2 dragons left, they can still create more dragons.
Oh.
So there's a theory that while she's pregnant, the dragons will also reproduce and have more dragons.
While writing the episode, did they know which dragon they were going to kill? Because she hasn't said Viserion's name since he's died. She's been like, a dragon died of mine.
Yeah.
My dragon died.
Yeah.
It's not Drogon.
No, it was Viserion.
Oh, okay.
Which
I'm
color
wondering.
is he?
He's green.
He's green.
And
so
the other
she
one's
has
gold?
the yellow one.
Or did.
thought it
Yeah,
was
there's like the
blue.
green, yellow, and then red.
Yeah.
Black.
Red.
Black with
Red.
some red.
Bread.
There's a little bit of.
Red.
Yes.
I gotta say though, that fucking ice dragon noise was so rad.
Oh my god.
When it flew by like a fucking jet. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah, they give you like no time to look at it.
I want to add jet sound effects.
Dude.
We're talking about the fact that he wasn't dead for very long and he was underwater and yet he has all these holes in his wings.
Yeah.
Those are from the chains they used to drag him up, maybe.
Which everyone was mad about.
Well,
I don't care.
An easier way they could have done that is he just raises his hand like he does at Hardhome, and then the dragon bursts from out of the water.
No, because then he would turn him into a white. And when he doesn't touch them...
Is that confirmed?
Yeah. Okay. So
wait,
like
when
when
he
he
touches
touches
them, they
the
turn into-
baby, he turns it into a White Walker.
Okay.
When he's raising the dead, he just moves his hands.
He could have gone for a swim. He's the Night King. Is he gonna drown? Die of drowning? That would have
I
been.
thought they made a whole point about whites can't swim, so how'd they get those chains on the dragon?
They send him down there. They can't swim. They sink to the bottom, and then they just live with
They
it.
just,
That's
they
their
just
order.
stand at the
Live
bottom and go
with it.
by as it raises up.
They could have hung on to the dragon as they pulled
Yeah.
it back up.
That'd be a little bit goofy. They pull a dragon out and you just have all these
Goofier
whites.
than big chains appearing out of nowhere.
I don't know. They're in the north. The free folk lived up there for aeons. Like, that's fine. There's chains up there.
It would have been cool to see it burst from the ice, though.
Yeah. What?
They would have been a very different
I'm
ending.
falling
Like,
into
you
the-
have like the perfectly still water and just the slow zoom
Look,
of silence
I
waiting.
mean, I'll admit that I fall into the trap of wanting to see all these cool things happen, and I'm like, oh, this would be
course.
cool.
So do you think that the Night King knew, and that's why they staged everything the way they did? They knew that they were going to be eating a dragon.
They needed a dragon to get past the wall, because then it like dragon fire like ruins the magic of the wall.
I mean, well, they
If you
also
break
said that
through
the
wall.
magic might have been broken when he touched Bran, and
Oh
then.
yeah, okay.
But
They needed they needed a dragon.
I feel like it goes into the whole Bran is the Night King theory, because I feel like he could see that they were going to be bringing a dragon and waited for that moment.
Do you see his head shape? His head is the same shape as.
I think he might be the Night King.
I don't really subscribe to that theory because they haven't proved anything like physical happens when he goes back in time. Like I could
Look,
because there's
right
also,
before that scene happens where they take down the wall, they show Bran warging.
yeah,
And he
well,
could be playing the Night King in that scene.
No, he's not the night.
Well,
I thought you were going along the lines of like he will become the Night King, and it's this like circular.
It is
timeline
like a
thing.
circular timeline
Oh,
thing.
I'll
Right.
believe that.
So you're not saying that he's warging?
He's
and
playing him
playing
now
the Night-
and yeah.
There's no way, because he's warning John about all this stuff.
Dude,
Why would
he
be playing
plugged into
both
that
sides?
Wordwood tree and he was ready to fucking download the Night King TXT. Yeah, that's it.
I-
He's like, he got a bad torrent then.
yeah.
I do think that there's like a cyclical time thing going on, if not literally, then figuratively. But I don't think Bran's the Night King. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Just wait.
I don't
Just
know.
wait till
They
next
just changed
episode.
actors to get one who looks more like Bran.
Anything that's like voices in their head, I can believe is Bran. Like burn them
Eris,
all.
yeah.
Yeah, well, the Mad King totally went mad
I could
because
believe
of Bran.
that's Bran, but like the physicality of like it's a real dude. Like it's not like Bran went back in time and then just like stayed there. And
Didn't they show the Night King being made too? It was some
that's
dude.
what I
yeah,
thought.
it was just a
But
dude.
apparently
that
that might have
like,
just been a White Walker. I thought it was the Night King though. I thought it looked like
Because
him.
they were talking about the creation of the Night King.
They're talking about the creation of the White Walkers.
Oh.
But it makes sense that the Night King would be the first White Walker.
that was the Night King that they made. Wasn't
no,
it?
they
That's what I
created.
thought, but
they-
it's not.
I thought they created just the White Walkers. They said, but they needed someone to rule them. someone had to be ruling them to control them.
Guys, will be corrected in the comment section down below.
Yeah,
don't
don't
you
worry.
worry.
Yeah, someone will tell us more.
I just don't know if it's something that we know.
That's
for
why I
sure.
was scared to do this episode, because I know this is just such a
such
tough.
a-
Oh,
dense
everything we're
story.
saying is wrong to someone. Don't worry.
Well, especially when we're talking about theories and shit.
Yeah.
It's just theories.
We're just having some fun, boys and
Yeah.
girls and people.
As much as I want the Hound to be Azor Ahai, I doubt it. But
yeah.
I just want. I feel like it just. The one thing that bugs me is Bran knows everything, right? It's like why isn't anybody fucking abusing that? You know?
Why is no one talking to him?
Yeah,
He's
like
basically
why
the
isn't
crystal
Sansa like,
ball.
all right, I get it, you know everything. Let's figure some shit out right now.
What's
you know?
John
Yeah.
doing right
yeah,
now?
she's
Fucking
like,
his
yeah,
aunt.
she's like, oh, John's away, and I don't know how he's doing. She could just talk to Bran, and Bran could look at where John is, and then they would know
Bran
exactly what's happening.
definitely helped him out with the whole Littlefinger thing, even though I think all of that shit,
yeah.
unfortunately, it would have been better if that stuff was on camera. That would have been cool.
What stuff?
If just like it's cool,
Them
it's
talking
cool to
about
have
it.
that reaction of dramatic turn, Lord Baelish. I was actually talking about you this whole
I lost
time.
my shit when that happened.
That was cool.
Yeah.
But it's still like it would have. Bran definitely like
But you wanted to see Bran Forrest Gumped into season 1 of Game of Thrones? Is that what you wanted?
no, no.
Just like in the background of every scene.
No,
you're
just
like,
just something to just that would have given it away. There's nothing that they
For-
could have
for
done
me,
to
as much
not
as
have that scene
I'm
work the way it
annoyed-
did. You know what I'm saying, dog? Homie?
Yeah, I mean, as annoyed as I was by the whole Arya and Sansa stuff throughout the season, I feel like the payoff justifies it. Like having that scene where, oh, this was all a ploy against Littlefinger the entire time. That moment made all of my frustrations
The
go away.
idea's
I'm
great.
still like kind of annoyed, but I agree the execution could have been better.
Yes.
But I'd rather that than Arya and Sansa being like, I hate you, and then whisper, okay, so how are we gonna take
Yeah.
down Lord Baelish? Like that would have killed it for me.
Oh, of course. Like that's why like I was struggling to come up with another way for them to do that. They really had to do it, but it just seems.
As I said earlier, like
They
we had
were-
a scene where Sansa was talking to Littlefinger, being like, Arya's a problem. That is enough for me to be like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, like they're gonna take care of Arya now. They call her into the room. Oh shit.
She's gonna have her killed in front of them. Bran's just sitting there okay with it, even though he knows everything. And Littlefinger's an asshole.
Well, that could have been a tip off for the audience where you see Bran there and like, why would Bran let this happen? Oh shit, they're not letting it
There's
happen.
bigger things
Oh,
to worry
fuck.
about. He's the three-eyed raven, dude.
Yeah,
He's
a
getting
robot now.
mad poon, bro.
I'm just happy that Sansa did something like
Oh, fuck.
oh yeah.
just from that first when she was like gonna push Joffrey off after Joffrey was like, look at your father's head.
Yeah.
and then she was gonna push him, and then the Hound was like, don't fucking do that. I was like, oh, Sansa's gonna be so awesome. Like she's gonna be so fucking cool.
Eventually, she's
almost
gonna do
wasn't.
something to
Yeah.
just get back.
even
I'm
this
so, I'm
season,
so glad.
the season
it happened.
started with John being like, "This is my decision. I'm king of the North," and Sansa's like, "But why, John? But why?" And it's like, "Oh my God, Sansa, just trust John. He's the king of the
Yeah.
North." But then she had her
well,
moment, and she fucking.
She has her reasons for not trusting like anybody.
Well, she had a good point of like, what? We're just supposed to listen to you and never question you.
I think after
Like that's a fair point.
after the Ramsay arc, I started to like her character more. Like during the Battle of the Bastards stuff,
Yeah.
like the setup, I started to like her.
Well,
character
she
more.
was placed in a position of power effectively, and used it.
I like how her
'cause
characters
Peter
really come
Baelish.
into her own in terms of leadership,
Yeah.
and it's not like
But we're seeing the payoff of all of these years-long arcs all these characters have gone on. And, like, I think it's really cool how, like, Ned Stark suddenly became relevant again. Like, everyone's talking about Ned Stark and, like, oh, I miss Dad.
Oh
and,
my
like,
God.
Ned-
Did
he truly win the Game
Hold on. Can you imagine just for a second the White Walkers coming into the north and then Ned Stark crawling out of the crypts.
Headless Ned.
Headless. How cool would that scene be? Oh my God.
I feel like we're going to have season 8 start with them burning every dead body in Westeros.
Yeah.
Just going through every cemetery.
They have to.
They have to. If they're smart, that's what they'll do. But,
So if you pre-burn a body, it doesn't turn into a White Walker?
well, what's there to turn?
Yeah, it's all ash.
Huh. Yeah, I guess
You're
it's
such
true.
Like, I thought about
What if it was
when-
like Fantasia? It was just like tiny little dust walkers.
why dragons no aim for Night King? Huh?
Because he's got scary giant spears.
That's
duh.
adorable.
3 dragons, not one of them thought.
I did think it was weird that,
guy
that
looks a little
Rhaegon
suspicious.
just pieced.
I thought he was going after Drogon.
I thought he was going to save John when he fell in the water. I thought that was going to be the moment
the
where
Night King was going to go
No,
save
Rhaegon.
Jon? Oh.
But why would Bran kill Jon?
Huh?
Why would Bran kill Jon?
Oh, shit.
Think about it,
Yeah,
guys.
think about it.
Going deep.
Oh my god, but no, yeah, he totally should have gone for Drogon and killed all of them and kept them there.
Well, he
and-
tried. He just missed.
I feel like
I think he deliberately missed.
No, he
might
could have gone for
sound-
that dragon first. Instead, he went for the flying one.
Well, they were both flying.
No, the one that they were getting onto.
Yes.
They were already on it. It was on the
He could have aimed
ground.
at the one that was on
Yeah.
the ground. Yeah, but he wanted a dragon. He didn't necessarily care about them getting away.
Why
Yeah,
not?
but that would have made
So
his
once
job
he
easier.
locked down, he was like, "Okay, I got the dragon."
It's not flying. It's in one spot. It's easy to hit.
And
like,
it has your mortal enemies that
Yeah.
are going to face you on
the person,
it.
people who are stealing one of your White Walkers is on it. Like, just fucking take out that one. It's easy target.
He clearly put all of his points in a long distance aiming.
He really wants a one-on-one with Jon. He wants a fair one-on-one with Jon.
Yeah,
He
1v1
keeps
me.
eyeing him down.
No items. Final destination.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just looks at him judgingly from 3 miles away. That
John's
boy.
like, is he looking at me?
Yeah, get the feelings.
There's a lot of people.
Why is Jorah being kept around? I love Jorah, but like they cured his grayscale for a reason. Do you think that the Stone Men have some kind of link to the White Walkers?
No.
Like this is some kind of way to cure someone if
think-
they become a White Walker?
Because it makes the fangirls go, oh, Jorah.
I think they cured Jorah so he could go back and then help them out in the north, and then his.
He hasn't done shit, though.
It's just like that.
No,
Everything's working
but-
out for all these
yeah.
characters.
Yeah,
it just seems
they
so
lost their
weird.
mean streak.
Everything's working out.
Like,
the characters are getting it. Like Tyrion made it out of the meeting with his sister.
Jamie made it out.
Jamie made it out. Even though
Everybody
he
made it
should
out
have
of the
died.
He should have lived, and
He
he
should have died.
He's gonna kill her.
Hashtag killing Jamie would have
No.
been better.
Queen Slayer cometh.
I love Jamie, but
I
no.
love Jamie too. I'm not
Right.
saying I want him to die because I hate him. I just
that-
think story wise.
Yeah, if everybody had a choice, they would have kept Ned alive.
yeah.
I
Don't
just
remind me.
love.
And it feels like the way the show's going, Ned would have survived first season if the show was going like if the direction it's going this season was how it was going from the beginning, then it would
Imagine how
have been a
different it would
totally
be.
different show.
But like, okay, so did you guys notice the parallel of the scene where they were all meeting up and they were trying to convince Cersei? The meaning of that scene was to show that they all lie, but the only one who wouldn't lie was Jon, because he said, "I am obviously my father's son. I would never lie." Meanwhile, he's standing there being his father's biggest lie.
right. It's the
So,
biggest contradiction.
Yeah, I thought that was like, whoa.
I saw that
moment.
pointed out.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like funny because Cersei was gonna fuck them over no matter what. So it's like his lie didn't really cost them anything.
Yeah, because she was gonna just lie then.
She was gonna do it
anyway.
no matter what. Yeah.
So,
But
but it was good to have those scenes.
Just the whole like Tyrion and Jamie parallels with those two scenes they had.
Should have killed Jamie.
I stop. I just think that's some fucking brilliant writing, that you have the scene with Tyrion where you're like, okay, Tyrion is just fucked.
Yeah.
And you see fucking Lena Headey.
There's
like,
no way
just-
she was gonna kill Tyrion.
Just like, I want you fucking dead, but I can't. And you're like, oh shit. Oh fuck, he's gonna live. Oh fuck, he came back. And then you just see the exact same scene happening with Jamie, and you're like, they're not gonna do that shit twice. Jamie's fucked. And like, you
was that
see
the
it.
big twist moment? Everyone lives and is happy right
That
now.
was the twist. The twist was that everyone lived, and it was a crazy twist.
Is that I knew Tyrion was
To
gonna
me,
die.
that was so unexpected.
It's
to happen
weird.
twice in the same episode.
It's gonna be weird. The moment she gave the mountain the nod for Jamie, I was like, oh, this is a moment I've been waiting for this whole season. Just a moment like this. I wasn't expecting her to just fucking turn into a bitch this suddenly and kill Jamie and she was gonna
would've
make her
showed how
stand.
far she's come.
She's gonna make her stand as the Mad Queen. She's gonna cut off all ties, and now Jamie has come full circle as a different character. And then maybe they could have done more with him. Of course, you could do more with every character like Robb or Catelyn or anyone.
Dickon.
Yes,
Dickon
Take on-
deserved justice.
justice for Dickon.
Oh my god.
But I don't know. I
Tiny
really,
head.
that's gonna come back
I
somehow.
really just thought
The
that
Tarleys?
has to come back to her getting punished for doing that, for burning.
Yeah, that's Sam's family.
Yeah,
And Sam
that's gonna come
loves
back
Jon,
to hurt
and Jon
her.
was
loves
Sam
Dany.
gonna I'm gonna kill you on one-on-one
No,
combat.
Sam's
Sam
gonna
doesn't
kill
care about his
Daenerys.
family.
Well, he might care about Dickon. We don't know.
Were they good buds?
I don't know. Maybe someone
By the
can let us
way,
know.
I love Sam now.
Sam's
Oh
always
yeah,
been
I
good.
used to hate Sam.
I used to hate Sam, but now I
yeah,
adore
he was
him.
really annoying and did nothing.
But
maybe
he's proved
only at
himself
Castle
now.
Black at the very beginning, but as soon as they went north of the wall and
He was
started
such a
proving himself,
bitch at like Castle Black. Like he
Yeah,
was just
he was
like, I
really
don't want to
annoying.
fight. John had to like defend him all the time, and that was like a boring arc that probably didn't need to happen.
I hated John and Sam. Whenever it went to the wall in like the first 2
I don't
seasons,
like John. John's
like,
a fucking
fuck
Mary
this.
Sue, like
Yeah.
completely. Like I do not. care
John's
for
still a
John.
Mary Sue.
Yeah, but now he's an interesting Mary Sue.
He's so boring to me. It's such a trope. Him and Daenerys, I don't care for.
They've both become very tropey, yes.
I like
but also
characters
Robb
who-
Stark became super
I like
tropey.
characters that have like
And then he
huge,
died.
the Red Wedding.
And then he died.
huge
Right.
developmental things
Remember
that
Robb
happen throughout the
Stark
show.
being like, no, I'm not gonna marry for political gain. I'm gonna marry for love. And then he got what's coming to him.
Yeah.
Don't marry for love, kids.
He
Yeah.
didn't want to. He didn't want to marry them because they weren't as attractive as this girl.
But remember, the daughter was attractive.
Well, you found out that she ended
Right.
up being attractive.
Yes.
But they made a point to show you, ooh, gross.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Walder Frey was not a looker.
No longer.
We even talk about that scene at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
That is a good point. There was sort of an implication that like if he showed that daughter, he would have been like, "Well, okay."
Yeah. Exactly.
And then none of
Because
this
like
would've
even
happened.
Walter Frey like in that scene gives a nod like didn't expect that, did you? She's fucking hot, I know. She's not mine personally, but
Yeah, right. I adopted her.
Do you guys think that all of the White Walkers, the Night King's hands, the people around the Night King all the time,
Speak
are
in falsetto.
all-
Yes, I do.
do you think that those are all of what's his name's sons, the babies?
Craster?
Craster's sons.
Well, at least one of them is, right?
Yeah.
the lieutenants, right?
I mean, whatever they are.
Oh yeah, because they turned the babies into.
I'm still waiting for a baby to ride that dragon. I'm waiting for a White Walker baby to lead the charges.
What they need to do is all the undead need to cut off their hands, send an army of arms somewhere, and then another army somewhere. It's like twice as many people. Think about it.
Here's
Think of all the arms that would grab people and like impale them.
Here's a question I want
Think
to
about it.
pose about the White Walkers. So there's been a lot of flack this season in particular from blog writers and whatever that especially yeah
With opinions.
yeah no that especially the Beyond the Wall episode was super tropey, super fantasy, and that's not what Game of Thrones is about, right? It's like, oh, it's becoming good versus evil, and that's dumb. But what the fuck do they think was gonna happen? You know, like with White Walkers and dragons and shit. Like obviously there was gonna be a fight between good and evil. Like that's what's been leading up to from the fucking very beginning.
Right.
So
You can't root for death.
my question is, do you think there was a way to make it all political and fucking nuancy, Game of Thrones style, with such clear good versus evil?
Like giving the White Walkers a clear motive that an audience can empathize with.
Like, I don't know, just something, because like you said, like you're waiting for the moment where it's like, oh fuck, you know.
Because I want the story to take a turn to where it's like, because I don't like seeing a story path already lined up.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that. That's why season 1 took me off guard. Season 2, 3, like even like the scene, even though it's a small thing and it's not a death scene, when they cut off Jaime's hand in that episode at the end, I was like, what?
And then it ends with that rock
like,
song
whoa.
from the Hold Steady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like
So
stuff
great.
like that where like it gives the characters in the story a turn. Yes, you can say that like the Night King killing the dragon is a big turn, but it's like I think we all kind of knew he was going to become even more powerful.
Right.
Like
Well, he
he's
needed
going to be
something
a
to
big
get through
bad
the wall,
boss.
and that just made sense.
I'm kind of just
the
I'm
kill-off.
holding back cuz right now it's not like this show has become utter shit. I think it's treading some interesting waters right now because I think it's leading into the typical fantasy route, the typical good hero defeats bad man.
Right. The thing that muddies it up is because of all these shaky alliances we have between these armies they have to work together to defeat the White Walkers.
Yeah.
And so you have Jon and Daenerys who may or may not have some issues with being related, and you have Cersei who's doing her own shit. So there's all this interpersonal drama that's preventing them from working together, and I think that's going to be a lot of what the season's about.
And and also like I can't say specifically what the show could do to make it better because that's why I love the show is because it constantly does stuff where I'm like I had no idea that was going to happen or I did not think that could happen. And so it's just I guess for me it's also just we'll have to wait and see because I could be judging it right now and it's leading up just like with Rob and stuff. Everything seems like it was going fine there and all of a sudden the Red Wedding happens. There could be something. They could be the first episode right off the bat. Something big happens that turns everything.
Right.
All I'm saying is right now it seems like it's going down the path of typical predictableness.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could have a situation where Bran checks out the distant past and sees more stuff with the Children of the Forest, and like that could change our perceptions of this whole conflict. Even something because the Children of the Forest created the White Walkers to defend themselves against the First Men, and we don't know exactly what the First Men were doing besides just like growing and populating. Like I don't know. There's just sort of a vague sense of they were a problem to the Children of the Forest.
Is there more interesting story to tell, or are they just trying to wrap it up? Like, are they just trying to be
more
like,
interesting story to tell
there? But like, are they going to like?
I just don't have the most confidence right now that it's not going to be a trope fest.
Yeah, but we can only see like it's just like next season.
I could hope upon hope that there's some shit waiting for us.
Because the thing is,
besides just like, oh no, my favorite characters are dying.
So many characters are left alive that it can only lead to just episodes of heartbreak next season. Because not everyone can make it.
But that's going to be
See,
really hard to sustain for 6 hours plus.
Season 8 could be the episode 10 of season 5, where it's just like everything happens.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what this season felt like. Was it's just like, all right, we're just biding time until all the shit goes down. Like everything that happened of real import in this season was like the first episode and the last 2 episodes.
You know, it's going to be a really shitty way to end it.
It was all a dream.
The last episode is them all gearing up to fight the White Walkers, and they look at each other and they're like, "Let's do this," and then it ends.
The show ends with Jon Snow cutting off his nose and going, "I am Lord Voldemort."
Goes, I am Tyrion from the books.
Yeah.
Or George R. R. Martin walks down from the heavens and says, "I am Azor Ahai. I am the one who was promised."
That is like the number one. If you just like search Game of Thrones on YouTube, it's like what they actually should look like.
Tyrion lost his nose in the Battle of Blackwater.
Yeah.
And then like,
all right, I don't want to.
If you want to talk about like goofy Game of Thrones theories, there's a huge like following behind the theory that Varys is actually a mermaid.
Oh yeah, the merman.
Varys,
Varys,
the spider.
There's like significant. There's significant evidence to point to Varys being a merman.
But he has feet.
No, you never
see his feet.
He's flopping.
a mermaid.
He's flopping around on a tail.
They've never shown what he did with that guy in the box, the wizard in the box. They never showed that. No, but when they show Varys' room, when he has the man in the box, he has no bed.
I don't want to see your world.
Oh my god! But there's videos on YouTube about that. You guys
Look
can
at
read,
my
watch
tail.
it.
Look at it. Look upon my tail.
Look at this tail. Isn't it neat?
No! Wouldn't you think my collection's complete?
All I did was cut off your balls.
Eunuchs, am I right?
Actually, that was another thing that I wanted to complain about to bring the mood down.
You wanted to complain about how
I want to complain about the fact that Daenerys was like, "Can I trust you, Varys?" Like 5 seasons too late.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck did she have that conversation now?
Well, didn't he? Did she?
He joined her at the end of last season, yeah?
Yeah.
There was still time for her to be like, "Wait, can I trust you? Because you're just the spider."
Well, he looks sweet as a button. So
He does look sweet as a button. I would rub his head and give him a sweet.
Yeah.
He's pretty adorable, man.
I want more
like him.
Varys Tyrion. That was like the
their
best.
all of their scenes together are just.
Well, how do you think
perfect.
Varys is going to react when he finds out that Littlefinger is dead?
Oh, he's gonna be like,
they were the biggest rivals. Like I actually thought that one of them two was going to be the one to rule the
There
kingdom
was going to be
because they were
a Clegane Bowl of Varys and
Yeah.
Baelish.
They were playing the game the
Littlefinger and
best.
spider.
Yeah, they were the ones who were winning the game.
Now I'm
They were the
imagining a fight
matchmakers.
between like an actual spider and someone's pinky finger reaching out to the spider, and they're like fighting each other.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
Just
I feel like he would just look down and be like, "Chaos is a ladder, my friend."
They're gonna find some way to link in Arya's faceless manness to take down the Night King.
she's gonna become the Night King. It's Arya all along.
She's gonna
She's
dress
gonna
up
be-
as the moon and be like, "I'm the night, you're my king."
She's gonna dress up as this is my prediction. She's gonna dress up as one of the other Whites, and she's White Walkers, and she's gonna get in close to him and be able to kill him that way.
There's
Whoa.
also the It's Always Sunny branch of theories, which is she's
say
gonna be
that.
the day man
Yes.
to take out the night man.
Well, that's why you need Azor Ahai because he's actually
He's the
his
day
sword
man.
is called the Lightbringer.
no.
Also
Dayman?
known as Dayman.
Dayman.
There's
Arya
gonna
has
be-
to kill Cersei though. She's on her list.
She's already missed people that were on
I mean, people have also interpreted that that's what the Hound meant to the Mountain, was he's like, you know who's coming for you, you've always known, because he is also on Arya's list. But
So
it's
Arya's
obviously the
coming from the Mountain?
Hound.
The Hound.
I thought she removed the
That's
Hound
like
from
a
the
direct
list.
threat of like, I'm coming for you,
Yeah,
big boy.
the Hound is
Didn't she
definitely
remove the Hound from her list?
He was on her list, but he died and was reborn figuratively. So figuratively,
She had the choice to kill him or not. She
And she
chose
didn't.
not to.
Yeah.
So I think
she's not on his list.
She crossed it off her to-do list.
Yeah.
She's like, I did what I could.
yeah.
But, you know, as long as the show ends with a giant sky beam and then Jon Snow driving a sword through the Night King's heart, then everyone falling dead, and then he marries Daenerys, I'm going to be perfectly happy.
As long as the show ends with the entire
not gonna happen
cast.
like
Sarcasm. Please nobody take that seriously. I'm afraid that people will take that seriously.
I just want the show to end with the entire cast holding hands and bowing, and then we get close-ups of like every pair, and they're like laughing, and we see the credits over each of
It's
them.
just George R.
and
R.
then
Martin
the red
in,
curtain falls.
in an empty football stadium. You ruined my books.
Thanks for the money.
ruined my bucks. Yeah, you ruined them.
I don't. I actually this season
Never
has
finished
actually
them.
made me like Daenerys less.
Really?
She's always just.
I mean,
not-
she was a hothead.
She's not smart. She's not nice.
She's nice.
She's learned a lot of lessons.
She has a lot of.
but I don't think she's applying them.
Well, that's why she's got Tyrion.
I don't
She's
like.
not right now.
She's having a real hero's journey.
They say that she's going to be betrayed for love. Is
Jonathan-
Tyrion betraying her for his love of the family of like Jaime?
Oh, that
and-
was a theory that I saw. Because why did Tyrion look so upset while they were boning? It's because that was Tyrion's room.
He did make some kind of deal. With I think he did make a deal. With
Where am I going to sleep?
He's just like, they know that's why.
It's like
The bed is small.
No, but
I
okay.
think they have smaller beds.
His entire talk with Cersei, the whole meaning behind his talk with Cersei was about kids. And I
Right.
think that he might have made a promise to Cersei that she will help them if he does something for her, whether
saw
it's
that, yep.
kill Daenerys' firstborn child, which is why he's upset
Well, we know
that
that
they're...
Daenerys is preggers now. There's no
She's
way.
totally... She's totally...
What do you mean?
pregnant now.
But she said clearly 5 times each episode she can't get pregnant.
And then
Oh my
John
God.
was like,
I don't know
"You
why
wanna
they had to do
try?"
that so many times. It was ridiculous every time they did it. Like, there was at least 3 times.
Well, if you notice that's what the new writing is like, and that's what
It's
I hate
so
about it. It's like
stupid.
Arya and Sansa are mad, and they're gonna get in a big fight. Oh no, but we tricked you. And it's like, hey, she can't get pregnant. Yes, she can.
Like, the
We
children
tricked
are my
you.
dragons.
Yeah.
The dragons are my children. Whatever.
I don't know their names.
Yeah.
What was that one?
Oh, wait, I lost the third one.
Whatever that one's name was.
I'm sad.
I guess I'll make
Bogon, Brogon, or something. Bionicle. What's his name?
I think his name was John. I don't know.
I think he was upset because he could already see that love was getting in the way of their decisions. And so them being in love is a problem.
It's never good for an alliance. Because I mean,
Loveless marriage. It's the only way to go.
Look with the Baratheon shit. Like that was based on love.
Wait, Robert and Cersei?
The rebellion, Robert's rebellion.
Oh, the
Yeah.
rebellion. But it was
Yara.
based off a lie.
Well, it's still love.
Yeah.
It wasn't. The love wasn't a lie.
True.
Just
Yeah.
the
the fact that she wasn't actually kidnapped.
man. She acted quick. She's like, can we marry, please?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have a baby.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna one day defeat the Night King.
I was really confused for a second because I thought Rhaegar was Viserys.
Oh, they use like...
They should have like
really,
gave him a
really
man
similar.
bun.
Yeah.
I was like, do it,
Man bun?
Well, didn't he have long hair in the books? Like, apparently he had like long white hair.
It was long.
He had long hair.
It was like
It was like my length.
Yeah.
No,
like
but that's
shoulder
not
length.
that's not long.
It's
long
thick.
for a
That's
guy.
medium.
They could have done something different than Viserys.
I was thinking like Sephiroth hair. My bad.
Well, he was
Why do
clearly
they
not
always make
him.
him like greasy looking?
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
because
guess
it's the
that's the
wig. They just
inbreeding.
like there's like, oh, I just found this. It's the one we used in season 1. It's
Maybe
like, oh,
that's
okay.
their way of being like, they're all super attractive, but they are inbred to shit. So
Yeah.
greasy hair. Sorry.
That's just what comes with the territory. I should know. I've come from the south. So do you guys. You know greasy inbreds, right?
Yeah, of course.
Let me tell you. But yeah, man, I am so excited to see how everyone reacts to them being incest, because if there's one person who's going to be like, there's nothing wrong with it, it's going to be fucking Cersei, because she's the one who's been pushing it all along.
If there's
Yeah.
someone that
They
clicks
can't-
their heels in joy, it's going to be Jorah.
It's gonna be Dorothy, but
There's, it is interesting because it's sort of a fine tightrope to walk because everyone's rooting for it, but
Yeah.
then it's like can I really root for it as like
It's
a
wrong.
human that lives in this society right now?
They only have 6 episodes left. They can't dwell too much on like the politics of, oh, is it okay if they fuck?
I saw a lot of hot takes. They were like, season 1 audience, ew, incest. Season 7 audience, yay, incest.
Yeah.
So how far we've come.
Well, it's because John's hot, Daenerys is hot.
Yeah, it's not wrong if they're hot.
No, of
Well,
course
Cersei and Jaime are hot.
It's
Whoa,
gonna,
whoa,
It's
whoa.
gonna drive them apart.
Yeah,
But they're
I
not
think
as
it's
young
completely
as
gonna.
Jon
It's
and
gonna
Daenerys.
start
it
that
serves no
seed
point
of
as a
hate.
plot device if it doesn't drive them apart.
Yeah.
But they already got a baby, so oops. What are you gonna do?
God.
And what must it be like to be somebody like Kit Harington who's just like, I've got work for the next 8 years. And this is all I'm doing.
What,
Yep.
just Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
But then, like, what's after Game of
And
Thrones?
then he started it when he was probably like, what, 30 or something? And now he's 38 or it's like, damn, dude. It's a
Hey, Harrington?
long.
No, he was not 30 when they started.
like
There's a lot of
20,
actors
28
that
or something.
I think will hopefully have successful careers after Game of Thrones.
Some actors have
So
a
if they
success.
get typecast, then they might just get fucked.
Yeah, well, some actors have a success like this, and they're like, okay, well, I
Set
had
for
a
life.
good run. That
Joffrey.
was fun. I'm gonna go do something else.
The actor that played Joffrey was like, I'm out.
And good for him, because he's actually like a really
God, he was
smart
amazing.
person.
Apparently he's really, really nice, too.
Yeah.
Who was it? We have a Game of Thrones viewing at our house. We used to every Sunday night, and someone who came kept saying that Euron was supposed to be worse than.
Well, that's what
Ramsay.
they kept.
Ramsay.
The actor kept teasing that, and other people kept saying, like, "Oh, you thought Ramsay was bad. Wait till you get a load of this guy." It's like,
No, he just looks
in
like
the
a
last
Final
episode,
Fantasy
I thought he was
character.
gonna like fucking do something batshit.
Just like stab Tyrion or something.
Yeah, just something dumb.
Theon.
Just something that, but like worse than Ramsay. Did he forget that Ramsay fed a child and a woman to dogs
Yeah.
alive and did that
Killed his own
routinely?
father, and I
Like-
guess Euron did. He killed his brother.
Euron's doing it for like a rule in sport. Like Ramsay did it for fun.
Yeah, Euron.
Like did it for fun. Like in a sick kind of. He was a psychopath, and so is Euron. But Euron's more Bam Margera.
Ramsay was a
True.
psychopath. Euron, I just sort of feel like, oh, he'll grow out of it. He's just
Yeah.
in a phase.
God,
Yeah,
I
his-
really don't like Euron. Like anything about him, man.
I like the actor, I just don't like the character.
the costume design for him too. Is
He looks like a
shit.
Final Fantasy character.
Man.
Doesn't make sense.
He reminds me of Sabretooth from the first X-Men movie.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He does have that.
Hello.
Yeah.
Or like Kano from the Mortal Kombat movie. Hello, baby. Did you miss me?
His character definitely changed. Like the showrunners and like him were like, oh, okay, so Euron's not really who we wanted him to be. Let's ramp him up a bit. And so then they gave him a cool looking, shave and do, and got him some new clothes, and he did his voice differently. He pronounced, he projected things differently as Euron. Because if you saw in like when he came, he was just kind of like, haha, Theon has no penis. And then now he still makes those jokes, but he does it in more of a kind of like a snide way.
yeah.
He's more upfront and what's the word?
He's playing a character.
Flamboyant about his kind of
Right.
acts. So
Yeah. I mean, he's a flamboyant character.
I could care less about the whole Theon Yara
Yeah,
Euron
that's-
plot. Like, there's
of
so
all
much.
the plots going on, that one's pretty funny.
there's
I
so
was
much
like, is
other
that
cool shit
really
happening.
continuing? Are they really spending
Yeah,
time?
Theon is
Season
coming
8,
back.
Theon finds Yara, also the White Walkers.
Theon baptizes himself back again in the waters and is back to go save Yara, and it's just like, come on.
Like another thing is like I don't think that like every character needs to have a whole arc, because Game of Thrones has again taught us that you can be in the middle of an arc and life happens. Like that, I want to see.
Death
I want to see examples of just life happening. Something happens that wasn't expected, that doesn't feel like it was like crafted behind the scenes to get like a big like moment. And that's what a lot of this season felt like with the Ice Dragon and.
I mean, there were exceptions. I mean, even as much as we were kind of poking fun of it, like Thoros of Mir's death felt very natural, given.
I thought he
circumstances.
was gonna die in his sleep and then come back as a white on the thing.
I was
Yeah,
so
that
happy
would've
when
been
John was
great.
like, "We have to burn the body." I was like,
Yeah.
"Yes, there's my boy. There's my boy. Burn that body. Don't let it come back."
And then like also, no, I don't want to nitpick that episode too much. That's just I'm just being too mean at
What?
this point. It was
What?
just like, well, if the ice broke the first time and it was there all winter, how did it not break when it was freshly frozen?
That is a good point.
All stupid, I all dumb. nitpicks.
Well, because they were there for like a week.
But I mean, the
before
Hound had
she
to be
came back.
comedy relief at that point. He had to throw the rock and be like, "You dumb cunt,"
I did like that.
and then throw it again.
It's funny because right before that happened, in my head, I'm like, you know, it'd be funny if like I just picture myself throwing a rock and hitting one of them. All of a sudden, the Hound picks up a rock and throws it.
I mean, they're making the Hound comedy relief because they did it again in this most recent episode when he had to bring out the chest with the dead thing and then put it down and then like kick it over. Like it was
Bring
so
out the
goofy.
It was a little silly. It wasn't really comedic relief though.
in that tense
'cause there
moment,
was-
I feel like that was like relief. In
And
a
then
sense,
they're
because it was a
trying to
tense
make him
moment.
likable because they
Yeah.
did the Brienne talk with him too. Like they're trying to make him into a main character.
Sure.
They're grooming him for it.
Hey, so question. When
Yes.
the White Walker came out of the box and he was chained, what was he chained to?
The box,
But the box is just a box.
the inside of the.
It was a
box.
heavy
It's
box.
a heavy.
There was another white in the box holding the chain.
He was tied. Were these the same
They didn't
chains
show
used
what it
to
was
get
chained to.
the
You're
dragon
right.
out?
Yeah,
That
same
was
chains.
weird.
That was
I mean, I'm guessing that the Hound was holding the other end of the chain.
Or like
Maybe.
they should have just showed like the Hound stepping on like the chain or something.
yeah,
That would've
because it
been
like stops
badass.
it. I saw the chain and I was like, all right, he's gonna be.
Well, that's why he turned around and ran back at the
Restrained.
Hound. I think the Hound was the one holding the chain.
Aaron, it's a fantasy story with dragons. Save your nitpicks for Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Also, like, how did its magic work on the White Walker all the way down in King's Landing?
It's a white. It's not a white,
white.
walker.
Sorry, white. How did its magic reach that far?
I think it's just once it's
Also,
alive.
can't the
it's
Night
like-
King see through its eyes and hear everything?
Probably.
Can the Night King now know how many people they have in their army? And he's
Can
like,
the Night
yes.
King warg into any white he wants?
Questions.
Have we ever seen him warg into a white?
No.
I just assumed that they were like able to
Like a hive
control them.
mind?
Yeah,
It seems like they were all independent.
I mean, we still haven't really
Yeah.
heard what the White Walkers want.
We don't. They want to kill. They were
were created to kill men.
They are, from this point that I've seen, unless they explain it, they are evil. They are just the kind of incarnation of evil. So that's just what they are. And I think like the human elements, the Game of Thrones elements, is the humanity within it, and then this is like the big overarching like. This is like, in a big story, like a storm is coming, like a regular hurricane. They are that hurricane.
Yeah.
They are like that event that
the
is
force
happening.
of nature.
Yeah. That is just
Yeah.
unstoppable. And
you
you
think-
have to prepare for.
Do you think the White was so pissed off because it was so hot out?
He opened it up, he was sleeping, he's like, God, I'm just go back to sleep. Then the Hound kicks it over, he's like, fuck!
He was nice and quiet. I thought they were going to make a big scene out of someone stealing the White before he could show Cersei, and then Cersei didn't believe them because Hound was like, if anyone touches this, you're fucking dead. And people kept asking what was in the box.
In my head, I thought the
Yeah.
Night
They were setting
King,
that up.
I thought the Night King was gonna like kill like one of the like new lieutenants that like changed that guy recently, and then he would have killed like a.
I just
Oh,
thought
yeah.
the white.
That would have been interesting. That
like,
would have
the
made it
Night- 'cause
cool.
The Night King's smart. He's like, oh well, fuck you.
Yeah.
And he kills one of the lieutenants, and even though he loses hundreds, he still has like 100,000 fucking soldiers. And a
I thought either
dragon.
that
Well,
or the white's magic just wears off because it's so far away.
Well-
so when they open up, it's just a dead body, and they're like, "Okay, you brought
Yeah.
a dead body to us."
But
Okay.
then where would the scene go and all
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
Like I think the major point of them going there was for one, Cersei to do her lying thing, and then two, for Tyrion and Cersei to have their scene together.
Well, in hindsight, sure.
Yeah.
But I'm saying as you're watching it, you don't know. And,
Well, of course
so
not,
you're
because, like,
oh,
you haven't
fuck,
seen it yet.
Like, what if the white isn't there? Or what
So-
if the white's just
I
a
was
dead
actually
body?
worried that it wouldn't pop up for a brief time. I was like,
So what are your guys' wish lists? Not your predictions, your wish lists for season 8.
for something to happen that makes me go, what?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
I want the Hound to be Azor Ahai.
Yeah.
I want to see White Walker baby. I want to see Lyanna
You
Mormont
already have, though.
leading the charge.
Yes, I want more of
Yeah,
her.
I want to see her on the
And
back
I
of a
need-
horse going like, attack!
Yeah. And I need more of our boy Jacob. I need more Grey Worm.
Yes, more
Yeah.
Grey Worm.
Because he was underused.
What the
Besides,
fuck?
we got to see his hot butt.
He was in
Yeah,
like
he
3
needs to stop
scenes.
He had a sexy butt.
And we know for sure now that it's just his dick that's cut off, not his balls. Because we were wondering, is it his balls that were cut off or his dick that was cut off? And they confirmed it's just his dick.
Confirmed. Fucking
Just his
confirmed.
balls.
Wait, how was it? How was it confirmed?
Bronn was looking over the army and he was like, a bunch of dickless men, just balls.
Oh.
When they were like getting the oil and,
And
stuff.
we learned that Theon had his balls as well as his penis.
Then why
Taken away.
didn't she laugh when he took down his pants, or she took down his pants? It looks like Mickey Mouse. Oh, she doesn't know who Mickey Mouse is. Plot hole.
Oh my god. What?
Just two balls hanging down. It's like Big
can't-
Mickey Mouse's ears.
I want to laugh, but you just set my mind like 3 miles away. I'm physically reeling from what you just said.
Whoa.
I want the same thing that Ryan wants. I want a moment that I agree. I think Jaime should have died. I think it would have been
Yeah. It would have been. It's the perfect thing for Cersei to solidify herself as the Mad Queen who's gone all out,
Yeah.
and
Did
to
that when she
solidify his
blew up
story
the
arc.
Sept. She's already the Mad
because
Queen.
there were so many moments in seasons 1 through 4 where it was just like, oh my god, like fucking Oberyn and Ned, and like those moments, they just don't happen anymore. Where you're just completely heartbroken and you're like, what is going to happen now?
I think they tried for
What
that
are we
with the
gonna do?
dragon.
I missed that. Like, how could they possibly?
Yeah,
go on
because
with
I mean
this?
that fucking the Viper versus the Mountain was just like, he's gonna fucking win, hell yeah, and then he just gets his head crushed in, and then Tywin's like, Tyrion, I sentence you to die, and you're just like, what?
I
Yeah.
know, dude. Like the moment where he started going a little too long, I'm like, okay, just finish it off, dude.
Yeah.
Like you knew when it like lasted a little too long. You're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
no.
we had many moments of that. Like, at least for me, it was the dragon getting taken down. It was Littlefinger. Like,
I got that spoiled for me, so it didn't surprise me.
you know, at least the Littlefinger scene, I was like a little ball of giddiness during that entire Littlefinger scene.
But
I was
that's-
just like, oh, it's happening.
That feels like a good closed chapter. That didn't feel like how are they gonna
Yeah,
continue
true.
without Littlefinger?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He was just kind of like slithering around. But so
Yeah, whereas-
Aaron, you are team hashtag should have killed Jaime.
Yeah, I think Jaime should have died.
It would have been a good.
Hey, if Oberyn won and then somebody was like, I think Oberyn should have died, you'd be like, no, I love Oberyn. And it's like, well, that's why he should have died.
Right. But now we're
Exactly.
left with a ton of characters we all love. And that's not going to end well.
No, it's not.
We'll see.
Everyone's
what if
gonna die.
What if they're like, so do all the characters live at the end? Well, I'm not going to tell you which ones die. I'm just going to tell you this happens. So, maybe all the characters live. Who knows,
Tormund
George?
and Brienne have to have giant, tall babies.
No,
That's gotta
she's not.
It's going to end with a new species of
And
giants.
the person that she's actually in love with is Jaime.
Yeah, but I mean, Tormund, though.
That's fan service, and that should not apply.
Apparently it's improv, like, from the set.
Yeah,
that they just have
it's
written
not
into
gonna
the show.
happen.
Wait, really?
Like he's just
Yeah.
got a crush on her. It's just not gonna.
They just
Can't
had
know.
banter during the show, and they're like, yeah, we like it. And they just kept ready for it. There was a lot of fan service this season.
Oh my God,
They made
so
a joke
much.
about Gendry rowing for years.
well, that's why I'm scared. Is because
Yeah.
they're going
It's like, as
that
much as I
route.
like it, I'm like, haha, they referenced the internet meme. It's like, is that a good story, though?
Yeah, but you know, I'm excited for 2019.
Have they said that it's
It's going to be late 2018 or early 2019.
Oh, no.
Just because
Well,
their
I do-
feature length, they're creating 6 movies.
Yeah.
So
I do want to rewatch the
Jesus.
entire show before the last season, so that gives me time, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's like 60 hours of content.
Yeah. Well, I still have HBO now.
It's
I'm gonna
like-
watch it all.
Jesus.
Is it
Anyway.
really 6? It's confirmed as 6 episodes?
6 episodes.
Yeah, it's
6
confirmed 6
episodes, an
episodes.
hour and 20 minutes plus. Each.
80 minutes each. I heard.
Wow.
That's absurd.
How are they going to do that in that little time?
I guess that's why it's gonna be late
It's gonna be all CG.
because they start shooting.
all fighting. Like, come on.
in little those suits with balls on them.
Yeah.
They start
Smoke cap.
shooting the season soon. I don't think they've even started yet.
No, they started shooting it already.
Oh, okay.
Did
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard confirmation that they have started shooting and they've seen people on sets and locations.
Let's
so.
hope for no leaks next year. 'Cause
Yeah.
fuck leaks.
Well, fuck the people who did the leaks. Honestly.
Well, yeah. That's
Like-
yeah. Fuck them.
And I heard that the episode that was leaked got like the most views ever. The actual episode when it came out on HBO.
Good.
So people
Nice.
actually weren't paying attention to the leaks anyways. So
Yeah.
Still
hopefully
made
they stop.
me bummed.
Yeah.
I knew 5 days in advance that there was going to be a dragon death and an ice dragon.
Blue Eyes Ice Dragon.
Yeah, spoilers suck.
Yeah, because the thumbnail, I literally told you, it was just the picture of the dragon with his eye open, it was blue, and it goes, Ice Dragon! Mm-hmm.
Thanks, YouTube recommended views.
Well, it's just people uploading scenes like they normally do. Like after each episode airs, there's always people that upload scenes.
Oh yeah.
And since I've been watching a lot of Game of Thrones stuff recently, because after each year, I kind of want to catch back up with like just random scenes to be like, okay, these characters are like this, type of like that, getting characterization down and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so since that was in my history, that popped up. So
Great.
now I know.
Fuck the leakers.
Well, they said there's like, haven't a lot of people said there's like season 8 script leaks and stuff.
I mean,
I don't
They always say there's stuff like that. I stay away from everything that's like, oh, this thing was leaked in any industry. I'm not interested.
So are we excited for next season?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I'm super excited.
I just want to see how they are going to end it. I want to see how they're going to end it because then it's going to be the camp of the first 4 seasons were great. The last few were and then it could be like, honestly, like it faltered a little bit, but then it wrapped it up nicely. Like it can bring it back depending on how they end it.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm not saying like it's shit, but it is in that kind of fantastical territory.
And then in 30 years, we can compare it to the book's ending.
Yes.
Nah, we're never gonna get the ending.
It's gonna be written by a ghost.
I think he's gonna die. Yeah, it's gonna be someone else writing for him.
Oh, George is listening to this, and
He's the
pissed.
prince that was promised.
Do you think he's putting off on releasing his book though because it's gonna give away what's happening in the show?
No,
No,
because
I
we're
think-
already ahead of where the books are.
I know, but
I
the
think
books
he's
also
just-
are a little bit more scattered than the show.
I think he's tired of writing right
I
now.
think they've
honestly.
diverged from. I haven't read the books, but from what I've heard, there's a lot of minor plot points that have all diverged already. So
George R. R. Martin
they're
said,
their own different stories at this point.
He said himself, there are 10 characters in the books that haven't died that have died in the show, and then he's like, I still have stuff that I want to do with those characters. So,
Yeah.
I don't know why I make him sound like a goblin. I'm sorry, George.
What his voice sounds like.
Wow.
Hello, I'm George R. R. Martin.
Do you like my suspenders?
I always got like, you know who should play brothers in a movie? Him and
Guillermo del Toro?
Yes, they should play brothers in like a
God.
road trip comedy
I'd watch it.
where they meet Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
And,
Why Cillian Murphy? Just because.
Because whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, Scarecrow! It's the guy from Red Eye or whatever that play movie was.
dude, I remember Red Eye.
He's fucking rad.
Yeah,
I remember
pencil
watching.
in his throat.
he gets
Yeah.
stabbed in the fucking throat.
I was like jogging on a treadmill when I was watching that, and he gets stabbed in the throat, and I was like, ugh.
And you fell off your treadmill, and your legs went up like an anime. Whoa!
Yeah, there's actually a video.
That's so
Go to-
fucking weird. I feel like I was also on a treadmill and that was on TV.
You guys are scrubs. I saw Red Eye in theaters.
No, I did too. And I bought it on DVD and watched it like 3 times.
You
since
bought it on DVD?
Yeah.
Is it an actually good movie?
Yeah.
Because when I was
enjoying it.
watching it, I was like, because I only started from the point where she's like, and then he's like,
That's like the end of the movie.
Yeah,
Can people
that's-
tell what I'm
That's
doing?
when it turns into like a slasher film.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like tense up until then.
but
Oh, it's so good. It's so well
we're good.
done. And what?
I'm gonna have to give it another watch.
Who
Then.
directed him? The Nightmare on Elm Street guy.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Criken? I forgot his name. I forgot his name.
I don't think Crichton directed it.
I don't think Criken.
I don't think he was alive in the 80s.
Whatever. Mr. Scary Boy.
Wes
Yeah.
Craven?
Wes Craven.
Okay.
He directed Red Eye.
Oh.
And it's so good. I mean, the
I like
fucking
Cillian Murphy.
the scene where the
He's
all
great.
the-
Every
all
time
the
I see-
plane scenes are just like fantastic.
They're really I mean, I only saw it the one time in what was that, like 2004? That was a while ago.
really good.
Is that Daenerys?
It's a picture of it's like a Photoshop of Daenerys and Jon Snow holding
With
a
a-
with a
pregnancy
pregnancy
test.
test.
Yeah.
It's a dragon.
All right, I got a shit. So
Okay.
thanks for having me.
Okay, bye.
that was
Anyway,
Aaron.
so back in season 3, I thought
Yeah.
that was bye.
Thanks for watching the G Club.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having us.
We have
up, Barry. Hey, Susie.
Yeah.
Let's go watch Aaron take a shit.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
okay. We're gonna go watch Aaron take a shit.
No, Barry, you
Bye,
can stay
Barry.
here and wrap up the podcast.
I'm gonna stay and wrap up the podcast. Thank you for listening to the G Club. We all have social media links somewhere. You can check those out if you're interested.